Hi, y'all. My name is John Hanachek, and I am working on scaling out this product. It's called CanCoverIt. This product addresses a problem that everyone essentially ignored for the last maybe 30 or 40 years in every home in North America. No joke, no joke. For the last 30 to 40 years, there hasn't really been a good solution for when you go into a house and you ever seen those light bulbs up in the ceiling? You go into a bathroom and there's a bathroom fan, it turns on, right? All these things are exposed on the other side, right? And they need to be covered up with this. But first, let's talk about what's up with the planet and all the stuff that we might know about, but I want to connect the dots here, okay? I want to bring some stuff together. So right away, we know, if you guys are paying attention, our planet is changing, okay? And it's not just about hotter or colder, it's about extreme temperature. This shows the differences in temperature across, mean temperature differences from average. This is another one, temperature surface anomaly, right? These are temperatures that have never been seen before. They're happening everywhere. This is an overall graph that just shows everything is shifting over, right? Our entire climate, it's not just the weather, right? It's the climate is shifting. So, okay, everyone's scared. Al Gore tells us about stuff and things. All right, what do we do about this? Well, this is a map from a group at Berkeley. The green areas are not using a lot of carbon dioxide. The red areas are using a heck ton of carbon dioxide. They're just emitting it and emitting it and emitting it. What's really interesting about this is you might have seen people talk about how they're going to make cities more efficient, right? But that's not really a problem. The cities, Richmond, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York, they're all pretty low, right? See that green? They're on the low end of the carbon. They don't really contribute that much to the problem. Look at all this red, though. This is all the suburban homes, the kind of homes that are sprawled out, the kind of homes that are like in that neighborhood over there. These are the huge problem. The cities are doing well. We're doing a good job, but we're not doing a very good job on the suburban homes. It's a problem that these homes are wasting so much energy. People inside them are even at health risk. When the houses get too cold in the winter, folks actually have died because of, and same thing in the summertime in New York. People will die from heat stroke because their buildings can't effectively keep them cool. And it's gotta, you gotta bring on dirty power to generate it and all this stuff. Check this out, okay? This blew me away. Like, when I first researched this, I had no idea. There's 110 million air conditioners in the United States. All of these, they consume 6% of the entire nation's electricity. That's air conditioners. That's $29 billion of cost to homeowners. That's 117 million metric tons of carbon dioxide. So people are trying to get us to stop driving, do all this stuff. It's the houses that are contributing to a huge amount. This is a breakdown of energy consumption, buildings, residential and commercial. Look at residential though, that's 21% of all the building use. That's a lot of energy, right? These individual houses everybody has are using a lot of energy, and most of that's in HVAC. Everyone, you heard of LED lights, right? Who's heard of LED lights? You got the LED light bulbs? Yeah, you got the LED light bulbs. Everybody's got the LED light bulbs. Well, they're only gonna fix 12% of the energy use. 39% is air conditioners. How the heck do you fix air conditioner use? Moreover, this is a big problem, okay? These are the amount of homes that are already here. It's 130 million existing homes. We build 575,000 new homes every year. So in the next 5 years, we're going to only have 200,875,000 around. It's going to take over 200 years to replace all of these homes, okay? We can't fix the problem with new buildings. A lot of folks in the industry, they talk a lot about how new buildings can be much more efficient, and that's true. But what are you going to do about all these buildings that are already here? We're just going to ignore them? We can't ignore them. They waste way too much energy to ignore. We have to do something about them. Well, it helps to understand why. Why do suburban homes waste so much energy? The biggest culprit from our research of developing this product is that every home, most of them, if they've got these fixtures up there, they have effectively holes in the ceiling. So you do all the insulation, it doesn't matter. You've got a hole in the ceiling. This is a diagram that shows what it looks like. These fixtures, these lighting fixtures you may have seen from the other side, well, when you take it from the side, they look like this. This is what they look like up in your attic. And a lot of them can't have insulation over them. They just can't. They're not supposed to. They're called non-insulation contact can lights, which is a really long way of saying that they aren't spec'd to have insulation over them. So you have to have airflow go through them. So what that means is right now in a lot of homes, you're leaking 32 cubic meters of air every hour, which adds up to a basketball stadium worth of air every year. That's per light. Your average home has 6 to 8 can lights, these things in the attic, which means this is how much effectively you're wasting of air, right? Every year you're spending extra money, all the homeowners out there, to heat and cool air that's just leaking right out of their house. This is a diagram showing what it looks like. You got air movement that happens up through here, right? All right, well, we need to, and if you got a Nest thermostat or whatever, you get those smart things, they're only going to be able to tell you the data. They can't fix the problem of your actual house. Your actual house has leaks in it. So how do you cover this up, right? How do you control this airflow? Can you do it? Can you guys think of any way to do it? We have to let it go through. We have to let it still go. It goes up through, right? You've got to put a cover over it, but you need to let it still flow, right? So there's little vents up in the top of this. This is this product right here. This took a couple years to invent after a contractor told us to do it. They asked us specifically to do this. This product pops open and goes over all the lights. Like a little house. Goes over it, and then underneath here it vents. There's little venting holes. So it keeps the house comfortable, but it doesn't create a safety hazard. So these are the old lights. Okay. All right, so look at that. You covered them up. Good job. You did it. All right, well, we did a good job. Everybody liked this product. This is down in San Diego, is the Center for Sustainable Energy. Well, then something happened where people made an airtight product. They made an airtight can light. They're these new fixtures, right? They go up in there and they stop the air from flowing, right? Because the air is the problem, right? Well, actually, it turns out when you put these airtight fixtures up in there, okay, they create all these new problems. The LED bulbs will break, light bulbs flicker, moisture and condensation build up around this airtight seal. It's a mess. It's actually an absolute mess to use these kinds of new fixtures. You can't just solve it with a fixture. Well, this is a bunch of stuff about how people came to our product because they installed the brand new fixtures, which were supposed to help with this problem, and it didn't work. They still had a bunch of problems with their air conditioners on, heating, etc., etc. LED bulbs broke. So we don't need to go into this too much. But what's up with this, right? Why is this happening? I thought it was the airflow. If you stop the airflow, shouldn't that stop the problem? Doesn't that seem logical, right? Okay, here, we stopped the airflow, but why are there still these drafts in my house? Why are there still these problems? Because it's not the airflow only. You guys know that when you have a soda can, right, and you put it out in the hot sun or whatever, it's going to change temperature. You have to try and cover it up. We got some late people coming in, huh? You got to try and cover it up, right? This is what's happening to everybody's homes, even if it's airtight. Even if it's totally airtight, it doesn't matter. You need to put... So look at this. Mold grows on these things. It's pretty wild. Water happens. Because it's metal, right? The fixtures are metal. They draw all this energy in toward them. Since they do that, they create all these problems. The only way to fix this problem, we have to cover these things up. Can you cover them up with a box? No, you can't cover them up with a box. The only way to cover them up is like this, with this kind of thing. This has two components. It's got insulation. It's got this foil stuff they call FSK on the outside. So what that means is that you go from this to this, right? So instead of all these troubles and things are coming in and changing your life, nope, you isolate it from the attic. So there are these two things, R value and U value. Has anyone ever heard of those terms? Okay, well, these terms are used by people in the industry, by professional contractors. And they can get a little confusing sometimes. U value is basically you're going to get a number for how much a material will let energy go through it. So you can tell someone their house is good or bad based on how much energy is going to flow through it. You want to be able to do the entire house, but you can also do individual materials. R value is one that does thermal resistance. So how much can a material resist thermal transfer? This, unfortunately, some of the guys out in the field, they mistake this number for thickness of the material. It's not about thickness. It's about resistance to energy transfer, which also means radiative heat, radiant heat, what we were showing in that other slide. This product is designed to work with both of these measures to do it correctly. You're not going to fix the problems with metal by using metal. So here's the bottom line here with this. You know about building an arch? Does anybody know about building an arch? You ever learn about like in history where the Romans built arches? If you don't build an arch with a keystone at the top that holds the whole thing together, it all falls apart. This is people's homes right now. Most of the 130 million homes in North America have broken insulation. It doesn't matter how much you do in the walls. It doesn't matter how much you do in the surrounding areas. Unless you put the keystone, bloop, over the top of all the metal parts of your house, your insulation will never work. It just won't. It won't be able to do it. It'll be like trying to fill up your bathtub while the drain is still open. It's not going to work. You've got to cover it up. So this is a huge growing industry because homeowners for the last 6 years have been finding this product and buying it and installing it themselves or hiring people to do it for them because they need help with this problem. So this is, if you're going to do work on someone's house, you want to go for the things that are the least costly and most impactful first, right? You don't want to do the really expensive job. They're not going to pay for that. But they will pay for one afternoon and a few $100s. Every homeowner has that money sitting around. They probably spend more on Starbucks Frappuccinos than they will on this one upgrade, which will pay for itself in under a year. So here's a graph, right? This is the opportunity space right here. Installing CanCoverIt and inspecting and upgrading insulation. Every single homeowner in North America should have these things done, which means this is a multi-billion-dollar opportunity because that means there need to be a lot of installers out there. I don't install the product. I make the product and I sell it. That means that what we have are a bunch of people out there in the field making their business around installing this and doing other things. You get this in the door, you help the homeowner, they'll call you back later. Guarantee it. If you make a friend, right? If you make someone who helps you out, you're going to call them back. So do something that people want, and you can grow an entire business on a category that's only growing, right? This is a big economic deal. So all the homeowners really dig it. This lady's was great. She cut our electric bill way down. The folks notice when you do this, and this isn't necessarily even like about the product, it's the approach of doing this. You've got to cover up the metal stuff in people's attics. That's how you get these good response. This guy is the Hawaii guy. He had a bunch of them. He just did this and some other stuff, and he reduced his temperature by 10 degrees and stopped his air conditioner from cycling all the time. Your offerings.
I've broken out for the homeowner their ability to choose radiant barrier shielding and or CanCoverIt as an option. I would say 9 out of 10 decisions are going with CanCoverIt.
So he drives his business around this product. He's able to show up to homeowners and say, hey, check this thing out. I'm going to put this in your attic. How long does it take? One afternoon. Oh, and it's going to deliver me better results? Yeah. We never sell these again. We only sell them once, which isn't the best business to be in potentially. We're not selling you an app that's got to be updated every 10 seconds. We're selling you something that will fix the house. So the main thing that I want y'all to take away from this is even if you forget the name CanCoverIt, even if you never listened to a word I said this entire time, I would hope that you understand that we've got problems in our world and blah, 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 and all these things. And people try and tell you, they try to make you scared. Don't be afraid. Don't worry about that. There are a few core modular solutions that can go onto buildings and fix them pretty much overnight. If every home in the United States of America cut its air conditioner use in half, right? That's a significantly less amount of energy that's being wasted. We could get down to 3% of electrical usage instead of 6% of the entire nation's electricity just by doing upgrades like this, right? That's considerable. Nothing to sneeze at. And the whole time, everyone's been installing them, making money along the way. There's a huge opportunity of upgrading people's homes. California right now has a goal in their new building codes that by the year 2030, every single home will be net zero energy. This is only achievable. You can't just put solar on this problem. This goal is only achievable with products like this and insulation improvements that actually fix. If you just put a bunch of solar on this, you're still going to waste all your money, right? Even though it's solar, it doesn't matter. You're still wasting that energy. You've got to secure it. You've got to secure it. And this is a multi-billion-dollar business. That's what retrofits are. Doing this kind of work, putting these things in people's homes is worth, and it's projected to be worth upwards of $45 to $50 billion within the next 2 years. Everybody needs these upgrades for their home. Everyone deserves them because the problem is pretty bad. The problem is costing us, remember the slides before where that crazy amount of thermal energy is just dumping off of suburban homes. We can't accept that. We don't have that much energy to waste. So with this thing, right, now we finally solved the problem, okay?
Hey,
here's it being installed. So you guys can see, this is just a couple minutes.
Your home's energy efficiency in just one afternoon. We're here in the wild, gonna see what it's like to install CanCoverIt with the pros. Let's check it out. CanCoverIt so you can blow in the insulation. It's hot up here.
Yeah. We got like 25, 27, something like that.
Yeah, 25 and then 2 exhaust fans.
Yeah.
You guys like to use them for the exhaust fans?
Put them on exhaust fans too.
Huh.
Cut them in around the ducts. A lot of times folks don't use them for that.
I guess they're a little bit more efficient.
Just throw them around. Easy. Do you like working with these things?
Oh yeah. They're pretty easy.
Have you used the other ones that don't fold flat?
Yeah, we've used those, like they're kind of brown or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. But up here, I mean, I'd rather work with these just because you can open them up easier.
The bathroom vent, I can feel the heat coming down from the attic. And our house can get up to 90 degrees. We had original insulation from 1968, and we're looking forward to keeping our house a little bit more comfortable both the summer and the winter.
Big takeaway from the expert Dan who is installing it and the homeowner herself is that heat and cold is coming in through your can lights, it's coming in through your bathroom fans. So put some CanCoverIts on, do a little bit of insulation, and then you can do more advanced stuff later. But in one afternoon, you can get yourself from uncomfortable energy wasting to really comfortable for the rest of your home's life. It's kind of a no-brainer, but it is pretty hot in an attic, so you might want to hire a pro, or if you're, bring towels if you're gonna do it yourself. But you can do it yourself. It's just kind of hot.
So that's what it looks like to install these things, okay? It's pretty easy sell to people, and it really helps them out. That woman, her life is improved now because now she can sit in her bathroom without sweating. So the main thing is that I hope you guys will see, right, is that this is a way, this kind of a product is a way to actually improve all the structures in the United States of America, like overnight. If we got a couple thousand people starting to install these more and more, the problem that we talked about in the beginning doesn't need to be there anymore. Buildings can be improved, and buildings are where we live, right? The computers are in buildings, everything's in a building. So it's important that our buildings work as best they can. And you can cover them up, right, with products like this, specifically this CanCoverIt product for every single suburban home. And this is a huge business opportunity. I'm telling you guys, if you're looking for work in other areas, if you're looking to start your own business, look into retrofitting homes. This is a huge market, especially in California, and there aren't that many people in it. It's one of those crazy things. Everyone's trying to become an app or whatever. They're trying to do these things that everybody else is competing with. Get into homes. Home improvement has almost no competition in it. You could show up there with innovative products like this, combine this with a Nest thermostat, show up to the homeowner's door and say, hey, in one afternoon, I can make your roof no longer have hot spots and cold spots. I can cut your AC bill in half, and I can improve the health and comfort of your overall home. You can get that sale. You can make that happen. And then you've started a whole business where folks will call you back later. This is already happening with the guys out there who are established as professionals. They're already using this to help drive a strategy where they get people to do it. Yeah.
Did you invent that?
Yeah, my dad invented this.
That's crazy.
Yeah, a contractor called us up and said, I need a thing to cover all those can lights. I can't keep doing this. Guys go out there and they build their own boxes, they do all kinds of other stuff. And this is it's the biggest problem in buildings, and that's now our entire focus, is just solving this problem, which is the most impactful problem in pretty much all of the homes. They've got some metal stuff in the attic. And you guys know, a fry pan, a can, anything, it changes temperature. Doesn't matter if you've, done other stuff. You got to put a cozy over your can, right? That's what this is, basically, to boil it down. Yeah, do you guys have any other questions? I'm yours. I'm done. That was it. I gave you a crash course in building science about fixtures.